Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time we're going to be playing Horrified. We're going to be doing a 3-player game. I have the board all set up. We'll be playing, actually there are 6 monsters that come with the game, and I'm going to be playing 3 of them. I'm not going to do a whole setup on how to play pretty much because Watch It Play's done an excellent job of this. It's a relatively short video, about 15 minutes, explains everything nicely. So I will say I am going to be playing with Dracula, who stars here in the crypt. We'll be playing against the Wolfman and also the creature from the Black Lagoon. So this is basically a horror-based Universal Studios movie monster game. We basically have investigators that are trying to go around the board and get rid of Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Wolfman. And so what we'll do is we'll take a high-level look at Dracula, creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, how we defeat them, and then we're going to take a quick look at our heroes. And a little bit explain how the game plays. So that should take a couple of minutes, and then we'll try and get right into it. Alright, so at a super high level here we have Dracula, and what we're trying to do with Dracula is there are 4 coffins of his out on the board, and we're trying to smash each one of them. We'll be collecting tokens that look like this, of different colors, different items, and we need a total of 6 plus. On the number, you see the number here at the top of the token. In the locations of the cave, dungeon, crypt, graveyard, smash those coffins of his, and then we can actually take them on directly. Creature from the Black Lagoon, of course, plays a little differently. We have a boat expedition going down here, and we're trying to find his lair. Once we do find his lair, then we can attack him, try and take him out. The Wolfman we're trying to find a cure for, so we have to keep going to the laboratory and placing blue tokens of any type, of course the numbers in the top there, in here until we can finally produce the antidote, and then we hunt down the Wolfman and we cure him. So that's in a real high nutshell what we need to do against the 3 monsters. They have special abilities and stuff which will trigger as we play the game. You'll see that. All right, let's take a look at our 3 investigators that we're going to be starting the game with. They each start with 1 perk. Then we'll look at how to play the game, and then we'll get into it. Again, relatively high level. We have the inspector. I'm using a little die here. I'm going to have her going first. She's got 4 actions, so 5 actions for the mayor, 4 actions for the professor. These are the perk cards that you can get by rescuing townsfolk, and you'll see how that works as we play the game. So she has a special action, and she can place her hero in any non-water space with a monster. So she can jump to the board with a monster. She could just jump to the mansion for a special action. She has her perk. Right now each player draws and places 1 item from the bag. Items, of course, are these tokens that we pull out of a bag. There's 60 of them. I think there's 20 of 3 different colors. Yellow, blue, and red, which of course play a part in defeating the monsters in the game. Then we have the mayor. She has no special abilities, but she has 5 actions. She gets 1 extra action. Her perk card that she pulled randomly was move a hero up to 4 spaces. Perk cards can be played on any hero's turn. Don't have to be played anywhere. So we could play this card on the inspector's turn if we wanted to, right off the bat. Next up we have the professor. His special action is he can move any hero or villager 1 space, anywhere on the board. That's really powerful. 4 actions, of course, and it says starting location. So he starts the hospital, she starts the theater, and she starts the precinct. His special perk card is the current player takes 2 additional actions. And again, you can play these during any hero phase to give them that ability. You can play it for himself, you can play it for the other 2. So we're going to be doing 3-player versus 3 monster. Let's take a look at the hero phase, the monster phase, and then we'll get into having a turn for each of our characters, I think. Alright, so let's take a look at the hero phase. So how the turns work is you have a hero phase and you have a monster phase. You have hero phase, monster phase, back and forth. So in our hero phase, these are all the things we can do as an action. We can move 1 space, we can guide, we can move 1 villager to or from an adjacent space. We can pick up any number of items in the space that we're currently in. We can share items between heroes. It doesn't even have to be the active hero that's sharing. It just have to be in the same space, so the other 2 can share at the same time. And you can do your advance. Advance are the monster card actions. Then it says advance, so those are the things we can do. So like we can smash one of Dracula's coffins, or we can move the expeditionary boat to look for the creature from the Black Lagoon's lair. Defeat, when you're in, you can actually attack a monster if you're to that point in the game, And you can use your special action if you have a special action on your card. And of course, any player may play any number of perk cards. So yes, that's the other thing. They don't have to be played on your turn, and you can play any number of them. So if you have more than one. And then once a character takes their turn, we get into the monster phase. The monster phase, you draw items from the bag, place them on the board. That has to do, there's a card that you flip, and it will give you that information. Then there's an event on the card, you resolve that. Then there's the monster strikes at the bottom of the card, telling you which monster activates and how much they move and whatever. You'll see how that works when we play. And of course the little symbols here tell you, like the creature from Black Lagoon, Dracula. We have the Wolfman. So, and the frenzied monster starting off right now is Dracula. Dracula's got a frenzy monster ability number of 1. Then the creature from Black Lagoon is 4. Wolfman's 5. Again, as cards come up and we play things, we'll see how that works. Oh my goodness. I know, 100 feet in the air. We do have a terror track starting at 0. It's at the very top of the board. If it ever gets to 7, we lose the game. The other way to lose the game is if you need to draw an event card deck. There's 30 of them, and you can't draw a card. Time's run out, and you lose the game. Alright, let's start off with our inspector and see what she wants to do. Alright, so right at the very top you can see the horror track here starting at 0. This game, very reminiscent of Pandemic Cthulhu and Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, to me, is very sort of similar-ish things going on in this game and in those. So let's just begin. So she has 4 actions. She is going to play her perk right off the start, though. She might as well. Each player draws and places 1 item from the item bag. So we're basically going to be drawing. There's 3 players. We have a bag here. We're going to be drawing 3 tokens out and place them on the board. Of course, we need tokens to defeat monsters. So the more tokens we have out, the better. So the first token is a yellow token, and it gets placed on the camp. Camp is right here. The second token, we reach in the bag, and we have another yellow item on the camp, a violin. So the camp is really stocking up with things. And final one, a bit of a shuffle here, alright, is a blue item. Ooh, a number 3 at the inn. And I have to find the inn. The inn is right up here. Alright, so that was, and that does not cost an action. Perks do not cost actions. We have 4 actions remaining for our inspector. So for the first action, I'm going to use the die here to try and remember how many actions she has left. She's going to pick up the revolver. It's a 6, which is really nice because we can smash a vampire coffin with a 6. So she's going to have that item with her. She has 3 more actions remaining. Now she can move directly as a special action, place your hero in any non-water space with a monster. So for her second action, she is going to do that. She's going to move right here to the Wolfman's location, the mansion, and then for 1 more action, she's going to pick up these 2 pokers. So she is gunning for Dracula by the look of it. Now she has another 6 points worth of red tokens, and she has 1 action remaining. And for her 1 action remaining, she might as well move over here to the Abbey, which gets her a little bit closer to Dracula. And actually, does she want to do that? Probably not. Probably not. Let's think about that a little more. She's got 1 action. Let's go up here this way to the getting up to the cave. All right, that's going to be all of her actions. Now we're going to have a monster turn. So I'll put the die in here. All right. Wow. All right. So here we're going to pull a monster card off the top of the event deck. I'll give this a little bit of a shuffle to try not to drop the cards everywhere. They're really slippery. Good quality cards though. And just so you know, I'm not cheating the game and stacking the deck. We'll shuffle that up. Alright, there we go. Shuffled. This is going to be our card. And let's see what we got. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put it in the middle here. And we're going to zoom down on this and we're going to explain what we do and what actions take place. Alright, so the card we got here is Hypnotic Gaze. So when we first look here at the 2, we're going to be drawing 2 items out of the bag, placing them on the map. After we do that, we have the Hypnotic Gaze. And this has to do with Dracula. So this will actually happen. Move the hero or villager closest to Dracula 3 spaces towards him. Oh dear. That will be next. Then we would activate the Mummy, the Invisible Man, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. So, that's how we follow this card. I'm going to zoom out and we're going to follow those actions in that order. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be drawing 2 items out of the bag. That's the very top of the card. We got a 2, so we got, at the museum, we get the tablet. And the museum is right here. Of course, I'm going to put this card, I guess, in the middle of the playing area. And we got a second one pulling out, which is garlic at the inn. The inn is at the top of the board. Alright, now we have hypnotic gaze. Move the hero or villager closest to Dracula 3 spaces towards him. So our investigator is 1, 2, 3 away. Professor is 1, 2, 3. Oh, way far away. So we're going to be moving our investigator 3 spaces towards Dracula. Ouch. Alright, so we're going to be moving our investigator 3 spaces towards Dracula. He's luring her into his lair, into his crypt. So she'll go 1, 2, and 3. And I will say that you can move into and out of spaces with monsters freely. There's no restrictions there. So she just moves right through the mansion space with the Wolfman in it. And now she's sitting here. If we look at this card again, we would then activate the mummy. We're not playing with the mummy. We're not playing with the invisible man. But we will activate the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now how this works, if we take a look here at the bottom, so we do it in order. We do the mummy, the invisible man, creature from Black Lagoon. Of course, we don't have them. And again, if this event has to do with a creature we do not have on the board, we just ignore it. But we always draw the items from the top. We do the text if it applies to the creatures we're playing against, and then down here. So we will be activating the creature from the Black Lagoon. The creature from the Black Lagoon is going to be moving 1 space, and if it ends its turn, or ends its location with an investigator or a villager, it'll roll 2 dice and attack. But I don't think the creature from the Black Lagoon is going to get to any of our investigators. The creature from the Black Lagoon is right here. It's going to end. The creature from Black Lagoon is the only one that can go along these waterways freely. Everyone else cannot. So 1, 2, he's 2 away from our investigator here down in the crypt with Dracula. So, and I think he's at least 1, 2, 3 away from the mayor, and our professor's way down on the board here. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So the creature from Black Lagoon will move 1 space right here, heading towards the crypt. So our investigator, our inspector, in a bit of trouble here. She's already in the space with Dracula, and the creature from the Black Lagoon is coming for her too. Alright, that's going to end off our turn for... that's going to end off our turn for our inspector. Up next, we're going to have the mayor. The mayor has no special abilities, but she has 5 actions. Let's go to the board and have the mayor take her action. Of course, we're going to discard this card. We only have 30 of them, so we basically have 30 turns to defeat all monsters, or we're going to lose the game that way. Okay, so we have our mayor here at the theater. She's got 5 actions. The first action she's going to do, she is going to pick up this here rapier. That's going to be action number 1, leaving her with 4. Then she is going to take her second action and move over to the tower. So that's going to leave her 3 actions remaining. And then she's going to pick this up, which is the, what does that say? I can't read it. Something. She picks up that item. My God, I'm not wearing my glasses. Picks up that item. She's got 2 actions remaining. For her... actually, she's got 2 actions remaining. So she's actually going to use her perk card, Rush. Move a hero up to 4 spaces. She's going to spend that on herself. That does not cost an action. So she has 2 actions remaining. She can move herself 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to move right here to the laboratory. For one of her last 2 actions, she will pick up both of these, which I probably can't read again anyway. Camera and a cardifuge, or centrifuge. I think it says centrifuge. Alright. She's got 1 action remaining. I'm going to zoom down in here and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so for her 1 action remaining, she's in the laboratory. This is an overlay, so when you're playing with the Wolfman, you put this over top of the laboratory space. So we can place 1 blue item on a spot matching the item's strength. If all spots are filled, you take the cure. So we're going to go to the Wolfman's sheet, and she's going to be placing one of those blue items down there, working on the cure for the Wolfman. Alright, so for her final action, I know it's a little bit sideways there, but it's the only way I can get the camera jammed in there right. She is going to be placing an item down. She's going to take the camera, the number 3 item, and she's going to place it here in this space. So you can see it's 1, 2, and 3. We fill all of these up. We're going to research the cure, then we have to hunt down the Wolfman and have a cure for him. Alright, that's the end of all of her actions, which means we have an event phase coming right up. I think I can do the event phase kind of zoomed out like this. Alright, so top of the deck, I'll grab a card, get my glasses on so I can see what I'm looking at. And we have 2. So we're going to be pulling 2 items out of the bag. So let's just go ahead and do that first. Get that out of the way. So 2 items. We got it at the Institute. We have a magnifying glass. And looks like we've got quite a few things for the cure coming up. We're not doing much with the creature from the Black Lagoon. And we've got a dart at the inn. Alright, cool. So those are the 2 items that come out. And now you can see that the event has to do with Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. Move the bride 2 spaces toward Frankenstein, but we're not playing with Frankenstein or the bride, so we're not going to worry about it. And if we look at the bottom, now we have the creature from the Black Lagoon. Then we have the Wolfman, Visible Man. So creature from the Black Lagoon, let's do him first. He or she going to move 2 spaces and roll 1 attack die. Yee. Well, the creature from the Black Lagoon is right here, 1 space away from our inspector who's in the crypt. Going to move right in there. Now when a monster moves into a space with a hero, they just stop moving. Or if they move into a space with a villager, they just stop moving. So that's 2 movement. It only needs to move 1. And now that monster is going to attack. Now the monster is going to attack our investigator. And we're going to be rolling 1 die. So I'm going to explain these dice a little bit. On these dice, there are 2 blank sides, 1 exclamation point side, and 3 hit sides. A hit means, well, we'll see what it means. Alright, let's roll the die and see what we get. So we get a hit. What does that mean? It means that we can either decide for our inspector to not lose any items. You lose 1 item per hit, and then you just stay where you are. Or you can opt not to lose any of your items and get knocked out, so to speak. You end up going back to your player character, and then you start at the hospital on your next turn. But that also increases the terror track 1 by having your character knocked out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to discard one of our pokers because we don't want to increase the terror track and get knocked out to the hospital. We're in a good spot right now as far as the inspector goes. So that's the end of the creature from the Black Lagoon, taking a turn. And so if we look next up is the Wolfman. The Wolfman's going to move 2 spaces and roll a die. Our poor investigator. So the Wolfman is 1, 2, 3 away from the professor down here. He's 1, 2, 3 away from the mayor. He's 1, 2 away from our inspector. So 1, 2. The Wolfman comes right in here with the inspector. So the inspector has drawn a crowd of all 3 monsters right now. That's absolutely crazy. She's in here with Dracula, creature from Black Lagoon, the Wolfman. They are all trying to get rid of her, apparently. So we're going to roll another die and see what we get there. We get another hit. Jeez. Alright. I think once again our inspector is going to discard another poker from the mansion, and those just go into a discard pile. They don't go back in the bag yet. So she's down to only having the revolver left, but she's staved off the attack. So she beat back the creature in the Black Lagoon with her with her poker, and now she's fended off the Wolfman the same way. Oh my goodness. Alright, up next, we have the professor down here at the hospital, and his special actions are move any hero or villager 1 space. So he is actually going to do that for his very first action. And you can take your special action as many times as you want. You can take any of the actions as many times. There's no restriction to that. So he's going to take our inspector and move her back to the Abbey. Get her the heck out of the monster zone there. Although, should he do that? Yeah, I think he's going to do that. And then, alright. What else does he want to do? Oh, this gets a little bit tricky. Got to try and figure out how to manipulate things to win. So he has 3 actions left. He also has a perk card that says the current player takes 2 additional actions. He can give himself 2 additional actions if he really wants to right now, but I think he's going to hang on to that because he can use that for anybody's turn. So for another action, I think he's going to move. He's actually going to take... It's going to take 2 more of his actions, and he's going to move the investigator 2 more times. That leaves him 1 action, so 1, 2. He's getting the investigator the heck out of Dodge, getting her closer to the cave and the camp. Now he has 1 action left, and he will move himself to the church, where he will then pick that up in the next turn, I think, if he gets there. So the professor's helped out our inspector by moving her away from the monsters, and now he is down there. And of course this card has already had its effect and is finished. So that's the end of our professor's turn. Up next, of course, we have another event card happening. Oh my goodness. And it is 3. So 3 items come out of the bag. All right. 3 more items, and this time we got a knife at the docks. Okay, we have a pretty quick game, actually, too. We have a mirrored box at the mansion, which is here, and we have, what else do we have? We also have a scroll of Thoth at the museum. And the museum is, where is the museum? Why am I not seeing the museum? Because I have my glasses on now, it's hard to see. The museum's right here. Okay, right on. So those are the 3 items. And up next, we have our first villager card. Hurried assistant, place Fritz at the tower. So Fritz shows up at the tower. Of course, I have to find the Fritz. I think this is him here. So we have these tokens that come with the game. So there's Fritz. So Fritz is at the tower, but his safe spot is at the Institute. So if we could get him to the Institute, he will be removed from the game, and he will also give whoever rescued him a perk card. So he shows up at the tower, and the tower is right over here. So he's at the tower. If he can get to the Institute, which is all the way down here, so basically 1, 2, 3, 5 spaces away, and get rescued, that'll be good. All right, so we have, I'm not sure what that symbol is. That is the, oh, that's Frankenstein. Sorry. So Frankenstein would activate, not on the board. Bride of Frankenstein would activate, not on the board. Dracula is going to activate because Dracula has that frenzied monster token. So Dracula is going to move 1 space and roll 2 dice. Well, not a big deal. Dracula is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the professor. 1, 2, 3 away from our inspector. So he's going to move to the Abbey on his way to try to get to the inspector. And that, unless I screwed things up, I don't think I did, is going to be our first episode. So far we have 1 villager out, and we have our inspector, professor, and our mayor all trying to defeat the 3 monsters. So it looks like we have our inspector gearing up to try and smash the coffins. Our professor's helping people move around the board pretty much. And it looks like our mayor is working on a cure for the Wolfman. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is Horrified board game. And we're monster hunters, and we're trying to defeat them so far. And of course our terror track is at 0. Nothing much has happened yet. So thanks so much, and we'll see you hopefully soon in the next episode.